Conscious radio station. Conscious radio.
North London, South London, East London, West London. Listen to this.
Could someone come text in or call in and disagree with me? I'm happy. Tell me where this creator came from, because no one seems to be able to tell me. As far as I'm concerned, when I was listening to an Egyptian teacher, a sister teacher, she was talking about the creator, and at the very end, when she was talking all these things about the creator, she says, oh, by the way, when you see the creator, you must see yourself.
A bit of a contradiction there, don't you think?
Why is that?
Because if you say do for self and the creator is in you, then
Come on.
That means you have to do for self anyway.
Well, this is what our African ancestors did, Brendan. When they were building them, they didn't go to Greece to get the builders to build them. It was Africans who built them buildings, Brendan. It's always do for self, Brendan. And that's, no, you're right, I see. Because if you're waiting on God, then you can't be doing for self, can you? And you're absolutely right, bro. So this is what, and Garvey alluded to this on a number of occasions, that we've got to stop this silly idea of waiting on this God to come and do things for you. Men build buildings, men make cars, men build houses. It's men on women create these things. No, God create these things. You can tell me about the concept of God, but you can't show me where this God is. And I'm saying we're not wasting time on philosophies that we can't prove, because we could be following an illusion like heaven in the sky. You know what I mean, bro? So I'm not following this concept of creator, and you can't tell me when things get created. And the Africans are saying nothing get created because things have always existed, because nature's a cycle, so nothing get created. Where can the creator come in when the cycle's always existed? How can the creator create anything when the cycle's already been there?
Well, I mean,
I'm not asking you, it's a rhetorical question.
No, I know.
But go on, bro.
Well, I mean, I get your point, what you're trying to say, because if you think about it, I'll give you an example. In 1910, for example, in the height of segregation, the black people, they had the most. They got married with a partner, their own partner, and also they had the most in the agriculture back then, even more they had in agriculture than they have now today in the United States. So again, they did for self. They had no choice.
It's the only way.
So in a way, segregation really advanced the black man and woman.
No, 100%, Brethren. I mean, if you think about all the successful philosophies and ideologies of Africans, from the Science Moore Temple, the Drew Ali, Garvey, of course, the Nation, Rastafari, naturally, Black Wall Street, Montgomery, but it was all us doing for ourselves, amongst ourselves, man. The greatest example is the Montgomery bus strike, in a sense that it shows the power that we have. When we change, they change. When we stopped going on their buses, they begged us to come back, didn't they? After a year and a day.
But we shouldn't have gone back.
We should have just developed. I know, but Martin Luther King wasn't on it, Bridgen. That's why we can't be raising him up like he did okay, but he didn't do brilliant. And that's just me. That's just my view.
That's your view.
Yeah, I was having another discussion with a sister who's a Christian, and it's a beautiful sister. Me and I get on really well. I'm not going to call her name.
You know a lot of Christians.
I do, because I get on with all people, Bridgen. But I try to speak me truth. And she was talking about God help me, and God will help me, and God. I said, okay. When you bought your house, did God do that for you? And she went, no. I said, well, when you did your exams, your degree, did God do your degree for you? I said, when you're going to make that cup of tea, is God... Come on, stop. What are you talking about? She's not recognising the power in you. And I had to quote to her own Bible and verses in the Bible which are talking about the power in the individual, which actually come from Africa, as we know, King. So we're not picking up the Bible in any way, shape or form, just to be clear. And she goes, oh, Minty, you're a preacher. I said, well, I'm not, but, I'm just talking about African teachings here, sis. So that's all. So if you want to come... get some vibes, because the preacher's obviously not, because you sounded really down. Come and check the African teacher and my brethren and sistren, and then you'll get a proper vibe, man. And you recognise you have the power, and if you don't do nothing now go change. And this is what Garvey was trying to say. This is the emphasis of, this is the essence of what I loved about Marcus Garvey. He was saying basically that if you We've got to give up this silly idea of waiting and believing in God coming to help you. That's not happening.
Well, I mean, the other races on the planet, they're taking now. They're not waiting to the afterlife. So why are they taking everything now?
You know, when I talk to the Jewish, and you're absolutely right, you know, King. When I used to go to Bodyworks Gym and used to talk to the Jewish brothers in there, Jewish kids in there, we used to get on good with them. All they ever talked about was business, you know, these guys. The word Yahweh never come out their mouth, you know, man. Never, bro.
Well, I remember years ago, I'm not this Jewish guy. He was quite a character, and he said he used to say we mentioned about taxes, and he said, "I do pay my taxes." He said, "This is what I do." He said, "I get my money, throw it up in the air, and what comes down belong to me, the other, the tax man." Not that we're advocating some kind of
evasion,
tax evasion,
any way at all.
But he was so arrogant the way he said it, and that
because they know all the hustles, brethren. That's why.
They are the hustle.
Oh well, they created the hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hey, listen.
Because why did they? Because the simple reasons why, with the atrocities that were put against them, they created a money system. Everybody have to be reliant on them.
But you made a very good point, Bridget, with the Jews. We don't want to get too sidetracked, but just to talk about the Jews. The Europeans are totally to blame why the Jews are controlling the Anglo-Saxon Europeans, and not just your Anglo-Saxon, the Eastern Europeans and Southern Europeans as well, are totally to blame for the Jews being in the position they are. If you have a problem with it, I don't have a problem with it. But the European, because you stopped them going into all kinds of businesses. They were banned from going into every.
That's right.
The only thing they could go into was usury money lending to live. Yeah. And that's how they got big. So don't just diss Jewish people.
No, I don't diss it. Yeah, I know you.
Don't just. And I know you're not doing that, King. I'm talking to the listeners.
The masses.
We can't just diss Jewish people. I'm saying the Europeans can't be hating Jewish people. You put them in the position. You can't hate Jewish people, and you left them with nothing, and then the only thing you left them with was to hustle money, and they did it brilliantly,
fantastically.
To the fullness, Brett. You can't diss them. That aside, but you know, Garvey, as much as he admired them, he had issues with them as well, because he admired the way they controlled the money and they looked after the communities. And these are certain aspects that Garvey implemented into the UNIA, absolutely. But let me say, with Garvey, money, all the lessons he learned and he realised through his travels and his sojourns all around South America, throughout the Americas, Europe, and especially England. Well, not especially England, but you know, he learnt a lot in England about what was going on in the rest of the African world through Deuce Muhammad. He realised that the reason that African is suffering is because we're not organised. We're not organised educationally, religiously, because everywhere you go, there's a black man's got a different religion. We're not educated economically, social, in any way, even culturally. We don't know ourselves, man.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, I think we focus too much on this religion. I mean, having religion is not a bad thing in my opinion. But you got to understand the concept that unless you start doing for self, the religion's no good. It's like if you said, I pray to God to help me, but you still have to do first before you pray to God, isn't it?
Yeah, but you've got to believe in yourself before you believe in God. If that's what you do. I don't even want to say those things, Benjamin, because we're not on that. But you're right, King. You have to believe in yourself and have confidence in yourself first before you have and even if you believe in God, you must have the same confidence in yourself as you do in that, because you can't do anything if you don't have any confidence in yourself.
That's right.
You can't just believe in some external source, which is what I call God, because it does exist, but it exists in people's minds outside of themselves, and I don't check for that in any way, shape or form. And neither does Garvey, and neither does Rastafari. That the power dwells within the individual. And that's what African Pride will teach you. And then with that knowledge that you have the power, that you can create what you want to create, the true creator is you will go out and develop what you need to develop, bro.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's important that we talk about self-reliance. Okay, bro. Big up Andy Man Discount Stores, man.
Where's that? I never heard of that.
Yeah, no, neither have I. Let's not talk about it then.
No, you can't
Okay.
do that.
Big up Handyman Discount Stores. It's at 72 Upton Lanes, Forest Gate, E79LW. The telephone number is 0208 472 2393. We're going to take this call. Greetings, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Greetings, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Roy, my name is.
Yes, Roy. What would you like to say, Roy?
Yeah. I would like to say this to you, right? Which man can create the moon?
What's that got to do with anything, though, bro?
Because you're saying
Can you turn your radio down first? Can you turn your radio down, please, bro?
Do anything.
Can you turn your radio down? But that's if you want to. Why would you want to create the moon, though? Hello?
Hello.
Why would you want to create the moon, bro? When there's a moon
When we
there?
bow down and create the moon, I says, which man can do it?
Well, you'd have to ask the man. I don't know, bro. I'm saying that I'm not interested in creating the moon.
No,
What for?
but you're saying that man can do all of these things.
I didn't say that. You said that.
And there's no God and things like that.
I didn't say man could do
And you
all
don't
these
believe,
things.
You don't believe in God and things like that.
No, hold on, Bridget. Hold on. What? I didn't say man could do all those things. I never said that at any stage.
This is what I heard you said.
Well, okay, what did I say? Quote me words.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say exactly? Repeat my words back to me.
All right, you're saying that there is no God,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And that man is his own creation, can create anything he puts his mind to as God to you.
Right, exactly. Go on.
So why you think, why can't man create a moon then?
But how do you know man can't create a moon?
Can you do it?
No, I didn't say I could do it, and I don't want to do anything like that. I'm saying, how do you know man can't do it?
Of course man cannot do it.
But how?
No way.
I'm asking. No, give me some evidence or some proof or a fact or something I can relate to. Like, because you're saying it's not true.
We don't have to give you no evidence.
Well, then what you say does. What you're saying is not
can
relevant.
Never do that.
What you're saying is
Man
not
can
relevant.
never do that.
No, well, that's your belief, Bridget.
It is relevant, but what you're putting over the ear, it is not good. What you're saying, I put it over to public, is not good.
Okay, that's fair enough, bro.
It's
That's
not
fine.
very good for the people to listen to those things what you're saying, because it is not facts.
Yeah,
And your belief is your belief, and you should keep that to yourself too.
Okay, but you've just said a belief. You believe that man can't, so you should keep that to yourself. Why are you ringing up the show? If that, you've got to understand what you're saying to me.
I'm just telling you.
Okay, when I'm telling you, I don't.
What you're saying.
Okay, and I'm telling you,
And what
I
you're
don't.
saying is completely wrong.
I'm telling you, well, that's your opinion, Brethren. An opinion without facts means nothing to me, Brethren. We don't do beliefs, Brethren.
It is facts.
No, we don't. Well, prove it's facts then. Go on,
I don't know
prove
what
it.
you're saying. What you're saying is not right, man. I listen to you all the time, and I want the phone up such a long time. It is not right what you're saying.
No, but you haven't given me any reason to say it's not right, just beyond you saying it's not right. But that doesn't deter me in any way, Brethren.
I'm not trying to deter you.
No, you can't. I'm saying that
right.
I appreciate. Listen, let me
say.
say this, King Roy. I appreciate you calling in, and I hear you have your views, but you can't prove anything you're saying. So, in a sense, not even in a sense, I can prove what I'm saying from my life experience, Brethren, that I can create what I want to create. I can prove that, Brethren, because I've done it. No, you can't.
Okay, create a sun.
Listen to me, Brethren. Listen to me.
And create a moon then.
Listen to me, Brethren.
And create a earth then.
Listen to me, Brethren.
And make life and put on it then.
We do make life, Brethren. We make babies all the time. What are you talking about?
What?
We make babies. That's making life. What I'm saying to you is, Brethren.
From start.
It is from start. It is from start.
You think you can make life? Can you make a tree?
Brethren, what's this got to do with what are you talking about? You've lost me. Let me say something to you, bro. No, Roy, let me say something.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
No, because you're not you haven't got a point. You're just saying you can't do this and you can't do that, and I'm saying I don't want to do any of those things. But you're telling me I can't create life. No, listen to me, bro. You're saying I can't create life, but I have created life. So what? Go on.
Where
Listen.
you create life? How? Where?
Right, it's called. Do I have to?
But can I just interject, brother? Fair enough, but this show is about Garvey, and Garvey was a Christian, and he did for self, but he wasn't waiting on anybody to do it. He just done. He had 15 million followers. No other organization has ever, black organization, have done that. So
Garvey is fine. Nobody talking about Garvey.
Well, we was actually.
My point is what you mentioned creator. God, you mentioned there's no God and this and that and all those things. And it's not right to be putting these things over on black people, man. Black people are already half lost over here in this country and everywhere.
But you know why people are lost?
They tried. I'm sure they're trying to find back themselves, which they say no. People is saying no, and they say the truth is coming that black people was the true Jews in the first place, Israelis. That's what they say. That is what they're saying, right? Now, if we, black people, need to get together, the only thing we can together is go and pick up the Israelites thing that the so-called Jewish is doing instead. What they learn and they're from our things and are doing. We need to get together and do that what they are doing because it belongs to us.
No, brother. Listen. Let's go back to.
No, brother, my foot. Don't tell me no.
Let me go.
Brother.
No, I let you speak. Let me speak. I'm going to go back to the concept of the creator. To prove to me where this creator is, show me where this creator is. Give me some evidence of this creator, brethren. Because you're telling me I shouldn't be saying this, and I'm saying to you, that's what I'm saying. There is no creator. There's no such thing. There's no God. That's an illusion created by men. Even your Jewish concept, Adonai or Yahweh, it was men who created it, and it was created around the 11th, 12th century BC. Before that, there was no such concept of Yahweh. So, prove to me.
All right, let me tell you something.
Go on, I'm all ears, bro.
Let me tell you something. What these people have learned, what they take from Egypt, and they learn and we're doing all of this concept that they learn from Egypt. Egyptians were the biggest. I can't find the word to put it. They're the one who put God aside in the first place and making themselves God because God will give them maybe too much intelligence.
Okay, can I ask you a question, King? Are you a Christian? You a Hebrew?
I am not a Christian.
Are you a Hebrew?
I am not a Hebrew.
What are you? Do you follow anything?
I'm a man who follow God. That's it, the creator. Okay. I know the creator.
Okay, so what are you following when you tell me you follow God? What is God? Because you keep on telling me God and the creator, and you're not telling me what it is. I don't follow.
I do everything the creator says I should do.
So, okay, who's the creator and where did he tell? How did he communicate with you?
We won't get into that this time.
Okay, no problem, bro, because that means you can't. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't deal with beliefs, brethren. You're just telling me about something you believe. You can't even explain it, and that's the problem.
But you're telling me something that you don't believe. You can't explain it.
No, hold on, brethren. I'm just talking to you about. I deal with nature, you know, brethren, and we can explain nature all day long. I deal with nature. I don't deal with no invisible spook in the sky, brethren.
That's because you're meet up 3/4 behind. You're not fully extending to this thing. You're still where the Egyptians says. You're still dealing with what the Egyptian says when talk about the nature and all that. You haven't gone beyond that. Before Egypt, there was a lot of place that built up Egypt, like in where here Selassie come from?
Ethiopia.
Them places, the people them who built Egypt. It was long before Egypt, Ethiopia and all them.
But who says we're talking about just Egypt, though, brethren?
God make man long before then.
No. God,
I tell you,
which God? Hold on, brethren. You mentioned I asked you about God, and you can't even explain. So how can you tell me God made man, and you don't even know how to explain God to people? How you're telling me I'm 3/4 behind, but you can't even tell me with your own belief. You can't even explain it, so it's not me who's behind, because I can explain I deal with nature. You can't tell me about your own thing, and you're telling me I'm behind. It's you who's behind, my brother. You're far behind, because the reality is the concept of God came out of nature. But the Africans who were dealing with nature were already building amazing structures after this concept of God came from the Hebrews. Nothing was getting built like that was in Africa, brethren. So how can we be behind? We were in tune with nature and our environment. That's how we could build amazing structures. So how can I be behind when I'm tuning into that? And you're following a God, and you never build nothing. The Jews never built nothing. The Muslims in Arabia never built nothing. It was only when they went into Africa and usurped the ideas of Egypt, they went across into Europe and built up Europe. It was when the Romans came into Africa and they usurped the ideas, they built up the Roman philosophy. The Greeks came out into Africa and they built up their Greek philosophy, brethren. So everything come out of Africa, and it was through the natural observation of our ancestors, not no sky god, brethren. What you're talking about?
Of course, everything come out of Africa.
Well, okay, go on.
I do agree everything come out
Go
of
on,
Africa.
King, yeah?
Because that is where God make man and put man at the start of everything. So I do agree with that.
Well, what God, brethren? All concepts of God come from men. So it was men who made up these concepts of God, brethren.
This is where I differ with you.
No, well, explain to me then. I want to ask you a question.
When man made, you say man made.
I'm going to ask you.
I know that they did make up those things.
All right.
They make up Heru. They make up
Yahweh, God, Allah.
No, the one that they make up Isis husband.
Yeah, sure, bro. Or Set, or say, yeah, absolutely.
He was God. They put themselves. They make themselves gods.
Yeah.
Put themselves as gods.
Yeah. And
I don't agree with that.
Okay, well, that's all right, brethren.
But then you, brother.
I do not agree with what they say about them make themselves gods and all that.
So what do you agree with?
I don't agree with that.
So what do you agree with, my brother?
No matter what I agree with. I said I don't agree with what they say.
No, hold on, brethren. No, Roy, listen.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, that's fine, brethren. Well, we do agree with it, okay?
There was Ethiopia long before. So who made those?
There was no Ethiopia. There was no Ethiopia long before Kemet. Ethiopia. No, listen, brethren.
There was Ethiopia.
No, there wasn't. It was a Greek name that came after.
There was one different.
There was Nubia, brethren.
Country in Africa.
There wasn't a holy country in Africa, brethren.
And they go and they make Egypt.
There wasn't a holy countries in Africa, brethren. Ethiopia wasn't a country before Egypt existed.
Alexander made Egypt.
There wasn't a country before called Ethiopia before Egypt existed. There was Nubia, brethren. There was Kush. There was no place called Ethiopia. That was a Greek. Kush was African, brethren. There was an African word sound, Kush. So is Nubia. Ethiopia is taken from Aethiops, who was an African king, by the Greeks. Ethiopia was not an African word, brethren, and it didn't exist. I'm giving you the facts,
Those places were before Egypt.
Ethiopia, well, yeah, absolutely, Nubian, absolutely, brother,
Egypt.
Absolutely,
they're the ones who went and built Egypt.
Absolutely, brethren. Even if, as you mentioned, you mentioned correctly, brethren.
So how the hell the Egyptians them can't call themselves gods?
Well, they're the same people, brethren, so I'm not sure. It's like you going to saying that the white man in America. Hold on, brethren. It's like saying the white man in America is not English. No, hold on, brethren. It's like saying the white man in America is not. Of course, he's English, but you don't describe him as English, do you? He's called an American, but he's still a white man from England. Well, it's the same with these people. They were Africans who travelled up the Nile and developed. The zenith was reached in Egypt, brethren, or Kemet, as we like to say, yeah. And the concept was developed through, didn't come from Africa, and it was God, and then they changed it to nature. It was always nature, brethren. It was always nature. So all this greatness you're talking about was observing nature and putting it to use. That's all it was. There was no God concept. And that's why they recognized that what was in nature was in themselves, and what is in themselves is in nature. All the elements.
You say he's a Rasta too, right?
100%, brethren.
So you say he's God then?
No, I don't. But not every Rasta man says that.
So who you say is God then? So he's a Rasta.
Hold on,
and Rasta thing is here Selassie is God.
That's a limited view on Rasta, brethren.
How can you be a Rasta then?
That's a very limited view on Rasta. It's not just about saying Haile Selassie.
How can you be a Rasta?
Okay, let me ask you a question, brethren. Do you know the 12 tribes of Israel?
You know them?
I know them. Do you know them? I'm asking.
Not sure about that, man.
Okay, well they don't.
There's so much different races on the earth. It could be all of them.
Let me explain to you. Sorry, but let me apologize and let me explain. There's 3 big movements in Rasta. There's Nyabingi, and there's Bobo, and Bobo and Nightbingy both say Haile Selassie is the Almighty and all that Haile Selassie is God. There's also the 12 tribes of Israel formed in 1968. They don't say Haile Selassie is God, but they're still called Rasta, brethren. They say Haile Selassie is not even Jesus, but is a personality of Jesus. So not every Rasta man says Haile Selassie is God, and there's some Rasta who just deal with nature, brethren, who just live in the hills. When they say Haile Selassie, they say, you see me. They don't talk about God, you know. They say, when you see Haile Selassie, you see I. And that is it, brethren. So there's different ways to perceive Haile Selassie and Rasta, not just as God. Yeah. So you need to probably do a bit more research on that, King.
The problem with this thing, enough of you guys seems to be too mixed up.
I'm not mixed up. I'm telling you I deal with nature. You're the one who can't explain what God is, brethren. You're the one who can't explain your God. Brethren, you can't explain your God. You're the one who sounds confused to me, brethren. I've just told you what I deal with. I deal with nature. I'm not confused. You can't even explain yourself, brethren, so it's you behind. I'm here on radio all day. I can explain what I need to explain all day long, King.
Yeah, but I don't think your philosophy is right.
That's okay, brethren. That's fine, man. I know yours is wrong because you can't even explain it.
You don't know mine is wrong because
but the fact you can't explain it, brethren, proves that they can't work around here, you know. Because if you're telling me black people need to hear, shouldn't be hearing what I'm hearing, that means they should be listening to you. But you're not even coming forward to tell them anything constructive. Just, I don't believe in what you say. There is no creator. That's not constructive, brethren. I'm saying there is no creator. There is no God. It's all an illusion created by men. I'm saying that we are the powerhouse. Any changes that African people need to see has to start with us. That's it, brethren. I don't think there's any. It's not above that and it's not below that. It's just us. That's what I'm saying, plain and simple. I'm saying let nature be your guide. Observe nature, see the abundance and the beauty in nature, and that's what you're going to receive in life as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'm saying without apology, brethren. And I'm not hiding either. I'm here every week, as you know, because you listen. But you can't explain your God philosophy, which is what a lot of people can't do, and they just get offended when they hear someone going against their thing, but they don't even understand their own thing. That's why they can't explain it like you, bro. I'm not against you. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, King.
I tell you, I could explain it, but I don't wish to explain it.
No, that's cool. I'm explaining my thing, brethren, without apology.
I can explain it, but I don't expect to.
Sure, you can.
Explain it right now.
All right, bro. Well, let's okay, bro. Well, let's give time to someone who can explain it then, bro, because people need knowledge. We don't need beliefs, brethren.
Give time to somebody else.
No, well, it's true, brethren. Listen.
Somebody might explain it to you and change your thing because
I've been here for nearly 2 years. I'm still waiting, bro.
I don't know. But I don't like when you put over the ear, but there's no God. And
no, that's okay, brethren. That's fine.
Keep it to yourself, man.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that, brethren. That will never happen.
You should keep it to yourself.
No, I shouldn't. I think
because
you should.
You ain't preaching nothing. You ain't teaching black people nothing when you say that.
Well, listen.
Nothing they don't know already. They've been through all that already.
Been through what? Knowing
everything.
Well, they've been through it. Well, I don't think they have because enough people are like you.
They've been through all that already.
Hold on, Roy. Enough people are like you.
It's time for them to know better.
Well, what's better, brethren? Explain that. That's what I'm trying to say. You explain better.
About the Creator and them laws when give we. And we must get together. That's what we're supposed to do. And he will treat us back good.
Treat us back good. Well, I tell you what, brethren. African people have been believing in God for a very long time. And how come we're still not getting treated good? So that kind of destroys your whole philosophy, brethren. And how long does it take this God to treat us good, brethren, that you believe in? To explain that to me. Explain that to the listeners. The floor's yours.
Them should definitely go back to them Israel philosophy.
No, I reject that, brethren, because there was an African philosophy before Israel. The word Israel comes from 3 African words: Isis, Ra, and El. That's it, brethren. And actually, the original Israelites, as you say, were Africans who were following Atenist, which is Akhenaten's philosophy, and the philosophy of Ra, brethren, which you're saying is totally wrong.
Well, I tell you,
the original Jews. In fact, if we look in the Bible, it's called. What's the Jewish book called? It's called the Torah.
I think, yeah. They, of course, as a Torah they've got. Yeah, they will have everything like that, where they take everything from Egypt and they're behaving just like the Egyptians them used to.
Yeah, and what they did is put a God thing on there, and that God hasn't done anything for African people ever in history. In fact, that same God you're talking about, that black people should believe in, was the same God in Genesis 9 verse 27. Put a curse on black people. You're telling black people to believe in a God that puts a curse on them. Is that what you're trying to say, brethren? And that's your intel. You're saying I talk rubbish, but that's your contribution, which is going to benefit our people to follow a God that puts a curse on you.
You believe in the God that put curse in.
I don't deal with beliefs, brethren. I've just told you that.
Hold on a minute. You just say they should believe. If they should believe in that one,
I'm asking you that, brethren. I'm asking you if that's what they should believe in, because you're the one who's talking about I shouldn't be saying this. So you're saying they should be saying believe in a God. You're saying they should believe in a God that puts a curse on them. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling the people who are listening to you? The floor's yours, you know, bro.
Of course they should listen to him. Yeah, because
so black people should listen to a God that puts a curse on them.
I'll go a bit further.
Stop it, bro.
I'll go a bit further, right? I think in Egypt is them who go against God. And the whole of us who come up from there were cursed for that. Yeah. That is what
Caller, can I just say one thing? I'm just going to say one thing.
What?
Where was God before the Bible? Did he exist?
Or she? Or it?
I cannot tell you that because everything I learned is from the Bible.
Thank you.
No, fair enough, bro. I mean, I appreciate your honesty, but what I'm saying is that before the Bible existed, that the roots of the Torah started 12th, 11th BC, and they were actually Africans who were taking bits out of the hieroglyphics of the the pyramids, etc. And it came together. I've got to talk, Bridget. I can't just stop talking. It came together the 5th, 6th century, where these 4 books came together, you know what I mean? And actually, Jewish scholars claim that they weren't written by Moses, brethren, but people who believe the Bible believe they were written by Moses. Why is there such a contradiction? Why are the people who wrote it telling you it wasn't Moses, but Christians are saying it was Moses? Don't you? This is a massive contradiction, brethren, don't you think?
And also, the word God did not exist until the 6th century Latin, so the word God did not exist. The original word for God was Deus, so it's an invention. The word God is the word Zeus.
Zeus is Greek.
Deus, yes, exactly, because the word God did not exist. You go and look at a Latin dictionary, which is older than the King James version of the Bible. You'll see the word God was not in existence. So this word has been created by man. The actual name God was not in existence before 16th century.
There's a lot of things that being put in the Bible that man has used.
Not everything, everything.
And instead of writing the proper things, they have used it to manage black people, to slave them, do all sorts of things to them. This is where the mistake that you lot is getting all it wrong.
Yeah, but
they have put a lot of things in the Bible that is not supposed to be there.
But brother,
for their own use and their own their conquerors, just like Constantine.
Yeah, but
who started all?
Brother, let me interject here. You mentioned about they're changing things to suit themselves, but wasn't that the philosophy to enslave the black people to think that they were worthless?
Go on again.
I said that was part of the Caucasian philosophy to mislead the black people that they wasn't the original people. So therefore, the mindset our people have is that they're looking up to a white Jesus Christ for to be saved, them when they should be looking at least for somebody that look like them.
They're looking at. That's right. They make this white Jesus and put him there. Yes. So I totally agree with that. And they make him from this one them called Serapis.
That's right, Brethren. It was the Greeks who developed that. That's right, bro. You're right. But what I'm saying, Brethren, is that you're saying they put in. Who's they? Because they put in the whole Bible was written by they.
Constantine.
It wasn't just Constantine alone, Brethren.
And his mob.
Brethren, listen. The Torah existed before Constantine existed. You know.
I don't know about the Torah.
Well, I do. I'll educate you.
I don't know.
You're the one who says you. Well, I know about the Torah. The Torah is the first. Well, you should know if you read your Bible, which you claim.
Because they mix up all of these things when Constantine is the first one who started these things.
No, he wasn't, Brethren. No, he wasn't. He was the first one who just codified and put together the book, the Christian religion, and made Jesus into a real person. That's all he did, Brethren. There was a schism in Egypt at that time, with one person saying, who was Arian, saying that the God the God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit were separate entities, whilst the other lot was saying, well, no, they're not God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, even though they're separate, they're the same, and there's oneness. That's exactly what the Christian religion promotes, that there's a 3-in-1 Godhead. That's it.
You know where Jesus begins from? Heru.
Yeah, no, we know all that, King. We know that. Yeah, man, we know that, brethren. We know that.
That is here. That's where it started from.
Yeah, man, we know that, brethren.
And these people come over there just because, and they find these things, and they come and they make up what they want to make up, and put themselves, make themselves, paint themselves white or whatever.
Yeah, brethren, you're absolutely right. No, King, you know what, King?
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. But let me just break down something that Jesus said. You're saying Jesus is Heru, and this is what Jesus says is the same thing as what Heru says. Jesus says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven." The kingdom of heaven is within, he says. So he's not telling you to look outside of yourself. He's not even telling you to look to God. Jesus, who is Heru, which is the African origin, is saying this. You're saying that these people are wrong, but the same thing Jesus is saying is the same thing the Africans were saying. He's saying that the power dwells within the individual. All things you want. That's Matthew 6 verse 33 when you want to reference it. But he said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within. Well, that's because we know. Listen, I meet many people who are Christians, and we have to know the book we're dealing with so that we can explain it to them like I'm explaining it to you. In Luke 17 verse 21, King, it says the kingdom of heaven is within. So if you're telling me that Jesus is Heru, but you're saying what the African thing is wrong, but Jesus is right, that's a big confusion there, brethren, because they're saying the same thing. And if the fundamental thing Heru says, he says, King, seek the kingdom first, he says, brethren. So he's not telling you to look for no God, what you're talking about, but you're telling me I'm talking rubbish. He's not telling you to look for Jesus, but you're telling me I'm looking rubbish. He's saying simply, look within yourself, King, which is what I've always said. So how am I saying the wrong thing then? Tell me.
I'd just like to back up the root.
Let him answer the question. How am I saying the wrong thing?
When you come to that and speak and put that forward and talk like that, you forget all about Yahshua.
But who's Yahshua?
That's the next one. Them say was supposed to be Jesus.
Yeah, you know it's funny because in Acts they mention about the Yahshua ben Pandira, his name was, or they call him Yahshua ben Joseph or Yeshua ben Miriam. They say that he was around 100 years before the Jesus and this mythical Jesus in the Bible was. There was a real man called Yahshua who went around creating miracles, or not miracles, but created a storm, and he had a little following. And actually, if you read in Acts, I can't find it, I'll look it up. In Acts, it tells you that this Yahshua was hung. Listen, brethren. No, listen. They said he was hung on a tree. So they've totally mixed it up in the Bible, brethren. So it can't be the word of truth unless they're talking about two different people. And if they're talking about two different people, then they're confusing the people, brethren. That's why knowledge is important, to have knowledge, brethren, and not just beliefs.
There is 3 different ones.
Well, that's good. I just know that there was one, and Jesus, as you said, the mythical Jesus in the Bible is Heru. And you, like I said, you kind of contradicted yourself, brethren, when you said that Africans are wrong, but Jesus is right. If Jesus is saying the same thing as Heru, then how can Africans be wrong when the foundation of African culture was to look within yourself to find the divine? And Jesus says the same thing.
Heru was the son of Isis and Osiris, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a myth, though, Bray. I just hope you know that they weren't real people.
I know exactly.
Okay, so
I know it's all a myth. I know all of that is a myth.
Okay, so but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying all God concepts are myths.
People are them. They come with these things, and the Creator Himself, the one who designed the stars, the heaven and everything, they totally put Him aside.
Let me ask you a question, King. This is where
mankind is mixed up to now.
Let me ask you one more question because time's running, King. Where did you get this idea of a creator from?
Where did I get it from?
Yeah, because it wasn't from divine intervention. So where did you get it, the idea from?
Where did I get it from?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right? I'll come and meet you. Text me. No. I'm going to bring you some things to show you.
No, you don't need to. Just say it now, brethren.
No. I can't tell you straight.
But I'll tell you what, then, King, what we do. Next time we have an event, just come to the event and we can reason then, yeah?
when you have events.
No, well, I'll
Over the
announce it. You
radio.
listen all the time, Bridget. In fact, Jam, I forgot your thing. Jam is the 24th.
All right.
Mention,
Put it
yeah,
over,
listen,
and I'll
listen to this,
come
my
and
brother.
you have a reason.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, Roy, and it was nice reason. But that Jam has just announced this event.
Definitely, and I bring the things them.
Bring all you want, Bridget. I'll just bring my body. I don't need the book, Bridget. Bridget, but thank you, though. We're going to cut the call so other people can call in.
Yeah,
But
man, good.
Jammers will announce the event that you can come and meet us, Bridget. And yeah, man, definitely can. Thank you for your call, Roy. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
put
beautiful.
it over the radio. Okay.
Yeah, enough respect, King. Yeah.
All right, Bridget.
Thank you,
All right.
Roy. Go on, Jammers.
Yeah, I just like to announce we have a speakers club here where you can freely speak your views and your opinions, and the next event will be taking place on Sunday the 24th of September 2017, time from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. Once again, the speakers club, we have a speakers club where we are encouraging you to have your opinion. This is what it's all about on Conscious Radio, so please come down and give us your speak at the speakers club, Sunday the 24th of September 2017, time 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. The venue is the Bernie Grant Arts Centre, Town Hall Approach Road, N15 4RX.
Yes, I thank you, Jammers. Greetings, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Greetings. This is Brother Dulani.
Yes, I.
Want to rise up the presenters them in the studio there, you know?
Yeah, big up, King.
Thank you,
Yeah,
King.
man. Rise up, Ras Minty. Trust me, I love how you handled that situation a while ago.
Thank you, King.
Really love it, man. You're really sure, you know, that your studies have really, you know, is there. Your information is there. You're correct. I want to greet you properly. I want to greet you in the honorable spirit of our great and mighty African ancestors.
Right, King. Talk the thing.
You know, see, I want to rise you up properly, man. I want to rise up you for your boldness and your courage, because we are living in a time when the vast majority of our people are caught up in religion and mysticism and spookism. You know, we're caught up in this in the clouds. We are expecting something to come out the sky to save us.
That's right, bro.
You know, and we're caught up in the religion of the Abrahamic traditions. You see, and you know, when I hear you, I said to myself, boy, you know, it is good to know that we have courageous scholars and thinkers out there who are willing to break away from the mold. I know it's painful. It's painful
That's
for
right,
those
King.
who are listening.
You're right, King.
It's painful when they hear something different and they're hearing the truth for the first time. And a lot of our people will be suffering from cognitive dissonance when they hear the truth.
That's right,
Their
brother.
brain cannot conceive it, because what they need to understand is that cognitive dissonance is when you found out that everything you've believed all your life was a falsehood. It's not easy for the mind and the brain to comprehend that, to process that information. So it's like when a computer starts going into this it can't get its bearings. You know, it can't process the information. So they tend to get defensive, get emotional. You know, they don't know how to express themselves. And I see the pain in the brother trying to find a way to explain something that he obviously don't know how to explain, but there is no explanation.
Exactly, bro.
You know, there is no, so it's difficult to explain something that is inexplainable. You can't explain this invisible force that never comes in, never intervenes, never does anything.
That's right, bro.
You know, and it's hard for them to come to, for many of our people to come to understand that it is man that creates all these things. All the laws in the Bible, every word
right,
was
King.
written in the Bible was written by man.
That's right.
And that is so hard. It is so hard for us to understand that not one word was written from a finger from heaven.
Yeah, absolutely right, King.
You see, so it is a concept that we need to come to grips with as a people, because I agree with you that our deliverance, our salvation, our liberation, our reparation will come through our own struggle, our own fight,
That's right.
our own organization. You know what I'm saying? Only when we get together and do that will it ever get done. We need to get this out of our head, this debilitating concept that have us sitting back and waiting for this unknown time when something is going to happen.
For so many years.
500 years. Go ahead, my brother.
Right. No, King, you're absolutely right, my brother. For so many years, as I think it was Curtis mentioned, where's this God? If this God exists, and we're the meekest, why hasn't this God come to give us any kind of assistance, man? In any way? What kind of illusion? Go on, King. Go on, Delaney.
It's so painful sometimes because I go to churches to do photography work sometimes. And I see the desperation on the face of my people. I see they want something, and I'm saying, sometimes I'm sitting there with my camera, and I'm saying, why can't you just give them something? There's something, just give them something to hold on to. And there's nothing for them.
That's right, bro.
Nothing.
That's right.
And they will come back next week, and they'll be in the same position. And next month and next year, and then in the same desperation on their face, looking for deliverance, and it will never gonna come. It's heartbroken. It's heartbreaking sometimes to witness this. But the vast majority of our people is in that state.
That's right, bro. That's why we do this, King. That's why we do this, you see, because we want to.
We have to, my brother. We have to, and you're better than me.
No, never, King, never, Delaney, never.
No, I tell you what. In terms of you use the Bible, you quote scriptures. Man, I just cut their whole feet out. I just tell them straight up that Abraham is a myth. Abraham don't exist. I mean, I go at the jugular. You know what I'm saying? But I like the way you're patient with them. You quote this, and sometimes you have to do that, But sometimes I don't have that training to use the scriptures to try to show them that, brother, this scripture said that scripture said, and that's very good skill. You know what I'm saying? It's very good and it's needed. But me, I just go to the root. There is no Hebrew.
For sure.
Hebrew doesn't exist. You know what I mean? The whole Israelite thing is a made-up concept. It's a concocted history. Moses never existed.
That's right, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
These are mythos. They are mythos.
That's right,
and
bro.
They're teaching manual to teach people to codify and deify laws and customs and tradition to make them become more believable, make them become more real, make them become more binding. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so we attribute them to supernatural origins. So they make them more powerful. You know what I mean? Give them that power of nature.
That's right, King. That's right.
Yeah. My brother. But I just want to say, keep being bold. Keep delivering this information. We need this information, man. Our people needs it. We need to wake up to know that we got to wake up and we got to do this. We need to be scientific.
Absolutely, bro.
We need to teach. Marcus Garvey said, teach your children in high science. We got to start embracing a scientific approach to this world. To know that there's atoms and electrons and protons.
That's right.
And we need to embrace technology, engineering and mathematics. All of Egypt, all of Kemet was built through scientific understanding. Those temples didn't build by themselves. No supernatural force built those pyramids. They were built by the hands of man, the hands of our ancestors who understand nature, who study nature, who did a lot of experimentation before they perfected the craft.
But you've hit on something very important there, King. The people don't recognize that the foundations of whatever religion or whatever, it's actually in science, it's in observation, it's not in belief. It's not in belief, and that's why we have to break down this idea of God and say, well, tell me what it is, because if you can't give me any evidence, then it's just a belief. We can't be believing in beliefs anymore, man.
And belief will get you hurt. Belief will get you in some serious trouble, because they may not know this, but that's how Kemet fell. Kemet fell because two things. We let the foreigners got in control of Kemet. But number two is that the religious the spiritualists, the Kemetic spiritualists, defeated the scientific community in Kemet.
That's right, bro.
And they start relying on supernatural and spookism, and it allowed our defense to be, the whole scientific order was depleted.
That's right.
And allowed the foreigners to come in and attack and destroy that civilization. We have to get back to science. That's how we're going to build our way back out of this thing. We got to think scientific. We got to teach our children to be scientific. And I want to thank you, my brother, for this opportunity, and keep it going, and keep it going, my brother. You're doing well. I love it.
We want to thank you for your call, Delani, man. It's always so. I know you've called a few times. Always brilliant when you call, King.
Respect, my brother. Respect. I just love it, man. I love to hear this kind of the level. It's the level and the quality of the discourse. You know what I mean? It is brilliant, and I'm really pleased by that. And anytime I can contribute, I will call in, my brother. But
thank you, brother.
So much for this opportunity, and in the spirit of my heart, Hotep.
Regin, you are me, and we are you, and that's it. So you're welcome all the time, King. So don't watch no face, yeah.
Hotep, my brother.
Rastafari, blessed man. Jammers.
Yeah, well, what a discussion's taking place. I'd just like to bounce off what my brother said. Thanks for the elevation. And I'll also add, I am because we are, and that was what was Marcus Garvey's statement. I'd like to say, thank the conscious community. And what I like to is he hit on a key note in that the science, everything was based on science and nature. But to explain science or nature in Kemet, we had stories. We had stories because that was the best memory device that we had to pass on the scientific and nature of creation on. We use stories. What happened was, as the brother well put, is that the actual essence and the real reason why the stories were there was lost, and then mythology came because we started to believe these stories without having the metaphorical basis. Metaphor just means the meter for us to understand. And if you look at even the word Bible, the word Bible is biblos. Bi means double, bi means double, and El means the spirit. So basically every single old document had a double meaning to it. Like look at aristocracies, all the old books had a double meaning to it. And this is what the Bible was originally put down as a scientific book based on high science and nature. But what happened? It got lost, and this is what the problem is at the moment. We've turned into Babel instead of understanding. That's why it's called a holy Bible and not a whole Bible. It's full of holes.
Regin, you're absolutely right, and I'm going to bring in the call in 1 second. The Bible is from the word Helios, Biblios. Helios means sun, Biblios means book. Sun, book, simple things.
Greetings, caller. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Greetings and blessings all in the studio.
Blessed I. Rasilo?
Yes, I.
Rastafari, my brother. How are you doing, King? What would you like to say, King?
Blessed my Lord. I'd just like to say, good conversation, man. Good conversation.
Thank you, bro. I get a bit passionate, but I'm trying to hold it down, man. But love to Roy still, man. Big up Roy, man.
Yeah, no. Big up the brother. Big up the brother for real. Mm-hmm. But the last caller said something that I think we should focus a little on. That when you realize that everything that we've been taught at school, and in some respects from our parents, no disrespect, it's wrong.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. It's wrong. And for Roy, if Roy come when he said him come, I'm gonna bring him a DVD. And I like to listen to people like Phil Valentine that breaks down metaphysics.
That's right.
And he break it down to say the creator. If you want to see the creator, looking at the mirror.
Yep.
And just let me say this. When a man and woman get intimate, 7 million, I can't remember it, but it's over 7 million sperm are leave. Yes? One reach the egg. God not saying you to reach that egg. It's you that make a promise to the universe that you'll do what you have to do. That's why you reach the egg. That's why we are here now. So my attitude is simple. We can't wait for no one to come and tell me nothing. We have to do it for ourselves.
Indeed.
That's right.
We have to do it for
That's a key
ourselves.
message from Marcus Garvey, you know, as well, to bring in the great man. Is we have
That's
to,
right.
we have to do for
That's
self,
right.
and every animal does it for itself. Every species has to survive.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we've been taken because we've been following a belief system. This is what's brought us down, because a belief. This is Conscious FM. So Conscious FM believes in being conscious, facts, figures, and evidence. I mean, you would not even go to a doctor based on a belief, or even buy a car. So how can you live your whole life on a system that is based on doing things blindly? You should be sure. If you're positive, you should be sure that it's going to work, you know, and you should have some facts and figures. But when you're on a belief system, you're basing your whole life on another man's philosophy.
And that's the problem, because a lot of us cannot accept that what we've been taught is wrong.
That's right.
We can't accept it. The same thing the brother said. No disrespect to nobody, but our mind can't comprehend that.
Well, basically, you see what it is. It's right for them, the slave master, but it's wrong for the person that they're trying to enslave. It's right for them because they want to maintain power, but it's wrong for the people who have to be put in the position of a servant. So that's what we have to do. Look at what they say and just do the exact opposite. When they say right, we go left. Inside the word left is the word felt. We go with what's feeling, our intuition, our science and our nature, our guidance.
And everything in nature is in us.
Absolutely.
And everything in us is in nature.
Exactly.
So you don't need to look no further than where you are now.
And the so-called creator didn't give us a book in our hand. Everything is, as you said, is within us. There's no book, no guidance, no manual to use. Exactly.
Nothing.
And the next thing is, what father is going to leave his son in the wilderness without no guidance?
Thank you. Thank you. And as I said, the thing we got to understand is what came before the Bible. I keep telling people, do your research. What came before the Bible?
And exactly
what came before Christianity?
Where was God? Where was the word God before the 6th century in Latin? The word God did not exist.
Thank you.
Yes, Russ. How you doing?
Everything bless, my Lord.
Yes. Well, you see, when you mentioned about the belief system, and the thing is that every other race of people on the planet, they're just taking and doing what they have to do, but our people still on this belief system where we should be. Go ahead, brother.
We got to wait till we're in heaven to receive stuff. We got to wait till we're in heaven. Why them take now and them in heaven now? We got to wait till when we die to go heaven and get something.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, because even like when you read in the Bible, they're saying that God the meek will inherit the earth. Now, to me, a meek man can't inherit jack, you know.
Not only that, but why would I want to inherit the earth and I'm not here?
And not only that, there's a certain they've only got a certain number of people who can get there anyway.
144,000.
That's right.
We're going to continue the good work.
Thank you,
and blessings and love to all. Rastafari. Yeah?
Thank you, King. Thank you, Ras Silo. Enough respect.
Respect, Russ.
Every time, man. Yes, that was beautiful, brother Ras Silo. Thank you so much for your calls, man. That's brilliant. So, I mean, this happens all the time, doesn't it? We get slightly sidetracked, and it's no one's fault.
I blame you, Russ. Okay. Because you always seem to bring the wrong crowd. You know? I'm only joking, bro.
There's no wrong crowd. It's the right crowd. Even
man.
your opposition is sharpening you.
Of course,
so I really don't mind, Bridget, and
you know,
respect you to all the callers. Give thanks, you know. Should I just read a few messages because it's 9:47. You're in tune to Conscious Radio. My name is Ras Minty with very special guests, Brother Curtis and DS Jammers. Let's read some texts, yeah. This is from Raskash. Guys. We're not guys, you know, we're kings here, you know. Guys comes from the word goyim, which is what the Jews use to describe what's the word? Not infidels, Gentiles. So anyone who's not Jewish is a goy, goyim, and that's where the term guys come from. So we're not guys. Scene king, but respect still, but just to educate. First and foremost, we need to disregard the differences between us and accents. I say that all the time, man. But you say, I don't like your Scouse accent, Minty. Yeah, then we can share properly. It's simple redistribution. I think that's what you're saying. Bros, don't forget we blacks judge each other by our accents, the way we speak. We no make progress by picking on each other. Facts. I get picked on for my accent, but it doesn't bother me. That just shows you that we have got a way to go. But it doesn't matter. I don't care about that. Don't worry about that, man. I'm happy being me, just plain and simple. Okay, our society made us believe there is no God. No, our society made us believe there is a God. Let's get it right, bro. I'm afraid it's wrong. He's our breath. No, air is our breath, brethren. That's what our breath is. It's plain and simple. So, no one's... I've asked all Christians, show me where this God is you keep on telling me about. No one can show me because it's just a belief. We don't do beliefs, Raskash, because we can't invest energy in something that we just believe. We have to know, we have to do research. So when you want to start a business, you must get the knowledge. You don't just believe you can do it. You get the right information so you can base it on fact, what you're talking about, what you're trying to do. No beliefs, brethren. Guys, in science is perfect combinations of balance, chemicals that makes evolve simply. Air to breathe, hallelujah. Well, hear this, brethren. I'm going to say this quickly, but the chemical table is the different elements that are the foundations of nature. We have hydrogen, we have calcium, we have different things, yeah? Now, from the 1st to the 8th, they have a similar, so like hydrogen is the very first compound. It will have 2 protons, 2 electrons and 2 neutrons, and then the next one will have 8, the next one will have 18, so on and so forth until we get to the 8th one. When we get to the 9th one, the reason it's called the chemical table because it's got the same qualities as hydrogen. So hydrogen has got the same concepts as lithium, which is the 9th, yeah? So it's going to have 3 neutrons, 3 electrons and up until the 18th and 17th, and when we get to the 18th, lithium or sodium has the same chemical makeup, and guess what? These are not, there's nothing outside of these things which has created them or is manifesting them. They manifest with energy within themselves, so nothing get created, you know, brethren. The chemical table will clarify that to you without a doubt, and that's where the word chemistry comes from. And what do we call our African place, Rich? Kemet, because we recognize that the power was within us, it was in the earth, it was in everything, and that's it, plain and simple. So that's what I'm going to say. Brethren, you have to know yourself, man.
And that's it. We knew it was Kemet. We knew it was Kemet. That's what it's called, Kemet. They call it chemistry because it's a mystery to them. And the problem is when you operate off of belief system, you should have proof and evidence. You know, who gave you the belief? It couldn't have been a belief that gave you the belief. A man must have given you that belief. So basically, and the funny thing is, when something great happens, what's the first word that comes out your mouth when something great happens? Unbelievable. So something great is really unbelievable. So when you're operating off a belief system, you're operating off something that is leading you blind, you know, blind.
Okay, give thanks, you know, King. So, yeah, we don't do God. We do life. We do nature. Yeah, and the air we breathe has got natural compounds in it, which we're talking about from the chemical table, brethren, and everything within the chemical table, which is the foundation of nature, of life, was manifested within itself, brethren, yeah? Not outside. There's no outside force. And if you can tell us where this outside force is, well, all ears, you know, King. I want someone to tell me where this thing comes from. Go on, bro. We've got a lot of texts to read.
And just to bounce off what you said, every element that is outside is the same element that we have inside. So the metal, you know, all the chemicals, all the water, the air, is all a manifestation of what is. So what is without is within.
And when you think about like the sperm and the egg combining, it's very similar to the seed and the earth combining. There's something within it, within the earth, within the seed that combusts. There's no outside force making it happen. When you think about the sperm and the egg connecting, it's internal combustion. It's a natural phenomena that's happening, not to do with the external force, you know, bro. But like I'm all ears. I'm, you know, big up Roy. If someone can tell me where this God is, I'm all ears, man. But we don't deal with illusions. We'd always be proud to be black. Big up Basil, and that is always a fact. Thank you, Basil. Ras Silo, greetings, real talk kings every time. Thank you so much, Ras Silo. Is that you? This is
big up Alban.
Yeah,
Alban, big up. You know, you managed to get me here in one piece today.
Yeah, Alvin. This is Alvin again. Alvin, man, you're a don, you Alvin. I like you. I like Alvin.
He's the reason I'm here today.
Enough respect to Alvin, man. Look at this. It says 014.
Take on the
Yeah, go on, bro. I said.
I've got a comment to Minty. He's going to pray for us because we're all going to hell. Thank you. That's where I want to go, because Helios comes from hell. Helios meaning fire. So as a fire, my natural environment is fire. So Helios is the perfect environment. And if you look at the word pray, what's in the middle of the word pray is the word ra. So you're supporting us by pray. Why do you pray? You pray to get light. Look at the last 3 letters of the word pray. You see the word ray. So you're just giving us proof that you worship us, because you worship on a Sunday. Ra. You pray in the middle of the word pray, ra, which is a ray, which comes from the sun. And the first word that a Christian sees when they see you is the word hello. Basically, Helios. So basically, and the word Helios backwards is holy. So when a Christian says hello to you, they're saying the opposite of being holy. Thank you for your prayers.
All baloney, is it?
Well, I mean, it says, I will pray for you, you're going to hell. Well, you know what, right? Being born in Liverpool, I was already in hell, basically. the racism we experienced there. So, you know what, I think black people have been
But
to
where's hell, though?
But you know what, right? You know, every concept is created on this physical
Because we're
planet.
living in hell,
That's
the
what
black
I'm trying to
people,
say, bro. Enough of them youths were getting blasted in America. That was our African brothers and sisters, and the black men mainly who were getting killed in police custody, like
that's hell.
the Hackney youth, Edison from around your end, wasn't it, recently? That's hell, brethren. So if you're saying I'm going to hell, I'm going to the spot where this young black life was negated. That's where I'm going, brethren. So you're right, I am going to hell, where they try to destroy black people, and we're going to reverse that nonsense.
And funny enough, if you look at the word heaven, is it really heaven? Because it sounds like heathen. Really, look at the word heaven, you see the word heathen in the word heaven. Turn the word heaven backwards, you see the word never. A haven is a place where the slave master used to keep the ship to bring the slaves on the ship. So when you're actually saying this word heaven, it even sounds a bit boring, because it's only 144, was it, thousand you said?
144,000.
And there's no TV, there's no football, there's no... heaven sounds a bit boring to me, you know. I think I'd rather be in Helios.
You sounding just like Ras Minty there.
And it's full of like angels. There's none of us there. There's a white god with a big, you know, who looks like Odin. Looks like the king of Asgard. They've all these white limp-wristed aliens with wings. It doesn't really cater for us anyway.
I mean, they can't decide whether he's killed on a stake or a cross.
Yeah, and it's a bit. We're going to just break down the science as well. When you're going to the word cross, that's why you're always cross, because you're wearing a cross. A cross is a barrier. 10 commandments. Command. 10 means to hold. It's a holding device. 10 Downing Street. That's where everything is held. Commandment. Ment is the mind. So basically, they want to command your mind. Where does a cross held? Go to a cemetery. You'll see where a cross is held. That's where all the dead bodies are held. So when you're wearing a cross, you're walking around as a dead body, because you can't get past the barrier of a cross. You can't get to the crossroads and see the light. The light is when you come to the crisis point and you can see what the crisis is. Most Christians can't handle a crisis, but when you come to Conscious Radio, we will show you what the crisis is. The crisis is the crossroad where you see the reality and you can resurrect yourself. That's where resurrection comes from. Resurrection is a French word. Resurrection means to resurrect yourself. Thank you.
Yes, I want to pick up Barry G in the studio, who will be doing a show from 10 to 12. So enough respect, Barry G. Every time, King. Yes, I. All right, I want to pick up Alina. Yes, I was very unapologetic, trust me. And we don't play up in here, because we're here to liberate minds, yeah? So we can't be, we're not against anyone who doesn't agree with us. We just can't be accepting philosophies we know have not worked for African people. And one of those concepts is this belief in God, because that's all it is a belief. And me, if you're believing in stuff without knowledge, that's the waste of time. Illusions lead to delusions. We cannot be continually believing and no results. Bob says in Ride Natty Ride, brothers, no time to be deceived. We must know and not believe, man.
That's right. If you look at the word believe, even in the middle of the word believe is the word lie. You turn believe backwards, because you used to read from right to left. You see the word evil, ebb. So you become evil and you become weak, because ebb means to weak. Eve means before as well. So believe, it's got the word Eve in it. So it means before you become you become evil. So basically, this is that we don't follow no belief. So just listen to conscious, become more conscious, because when you're conscious you can recognize things, and you can recognize that before there was a God, we lived in gold, we ruled the world, everybody came to us for knowledge. Now since this God has come in, we're the people now who are now the endangered species. Thank you.
Yes. Do you want to say something, my brother? Because we're going to round up now.
Yes. I would just like to say thank you again for inviting me, even though we didn't quite get to the promised land.
I know. But you know what, right? It starts in the mind. Mm-hmm. The mind is the key to any form of success we desire as African people. My philosophy is this simple. We get our minds right, the external world will manifest right. That's what life has taught me. And I'm saying that you get your mind right, keep it in that peaceful state, tuned into that divine source within you. You can't go wrong, man. That's what I'm saying without apology. But go on, brother.
Yes, absolutely. You know, you're right, brother, when you say that, because we're focusing too much on religion. Really, there's a time and place for religion, in my opinion, and what we should have done is focus on thyself. That's my philosophy. Anyway.
Thank you, Curtis.
Just one last thing, we can continue this conversation on the YouTube called the Speakers Club channel, where this will be uploading this show, and you can put your comments. So all your comments are welcome. Go to YouTube, put in the Speakers Club, and look out for this version of the show. Ras Minty signing out.
Okay, and then we'll just finish off with these sexes and we're going to round off. Simply oxygen, hydrogen, helium, flowers. Exactly, all natural compounds make the world, and they all have the energy within themselves. There's no outside source, so we have to forget this concept. Then we can also poison it by uranium and platinum. Thanks. I'm not sure what the relevance of that, but love still. Sister Kashida, hell or heaven are conditions in life. That's right, and they start in the mind, Sister Kashida, so you're absolutely right. This is from Beck. Hi, Minty. In your opinion, what happens to us spiritually or otherwise when we die? I can't answer that, Bregin, but what I will say is we don't die. Death is an illusion created by men. All we do is just transition into a different form. That's it, King. There's no such thing as death. Death was created by men. So on that note, we're going to love you and we're going to leave you. I just want to say that we were going to talk about Garvey, self-reliance. We're always going to encourage our beautiful people to do for self. Love your beautiful black self, because you're beautiful. I love you. You're vibrant. You've got so much to offer, and try and find something that you can do. Find your skill, find your gift. It doesn't have to be by yourself. You can be in a group with others, yeah, and that's still self-reliance. So on that note, we're going to love you and leave you. I want to pick up Tanya Prendergast, my little nemesis. I love you, sister. You're beautiful. You've got a lot of knowledge, but right about now we can't really discuss it, but we'll do it at different times. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you. Big up Curtis. Big up Jammers. Next is the great Barry G, playing some fabulous music till 12 o'clock. Rastafari.